Hey guys, I want to show you how we pre-cook our sausages. To get started here, let's take a look at what we're going for. You can see these chunks are very irregular in shape. Some are small, some are bigger, some are sort of craggly. This is exactly what we're looking at. One more time. Hey guys, I want to show you how we pre-cook our sausages. Let's get started right here. I want to show you exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for a variety of shapes and sizes. You can see some of the pieces are very uneven, like this one. Some are small, some are as large as this one. We like that because it's got a different mouthfeel. Every bite's a little bit different. It's going to look very rustic on the pizza. Now, we don't want anything so much smaller than this because then it'll just sort of just be little pieces of like crumble or gristle on the pizza. We don't want anything bigger than this because then it would get a little harder to control our food costs, or it would look just sparse on the pie, and also it might not cook all the way through. So this is the range we're looking for. No smaller than this, no bigger than this, and sort of the wide variety of shapes and sizes. So let's show you how we do that. We've done a lot of different things with sausages over the years at Barrisanos. We've tried to grind our own. We actually did that for quite a long time. We made house-made sausage. This one is just as good as the ones that we were doing house-made. Therefore, we've decided to use. We've also tried a lot of different variety of methods for cutting them into the shapes I just showed you, which is probably more than 20 methods that we've tried. It's surprisingly difficult to get it to look that sort of consistently rustic, if I can say it that way. It comes to us frozen in 10-pound packs. 5 pounds is about what we're going to put on one sheet pan. So let me go ahead and cut this in half. That'll hold for a bit. Let me pull this one out. Now, ideally, the meat, when you're cutting it, is very cold. As I said, it comes to us frozen, and we take it out of the freezer, put it into the refrigerator, generally overnight or as long as it takes to thaw out. So I cut off a hunk like that, and then I sort of smash it down flat. See, I have a couple of other little implements here. I've got a thing of water, bowl of water, and I've got a knife. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut it, and if I can make it all the way over here, I'll just let it fall off there. If it's not coming off on its own, then I can just take this knife and run it across, and it will come off. If it's not really sticking to this, then I can do the cut and just move it off to the side on the board. Just sort of cut it and move it over here, and then I can move it onto the sheet pan later. Whatever you think is fastest is fine. Now, if the meat warms up much more than this, it's going to get sticky, the fat's going to melt, and it's going to get progressively harder and sloppier to come off this knife. You don't want to make these cuts too thick, because if you do, your end pieces are just going to end up too large. Okay, take these now, move these on here. These are going to get one final cut. We're going to bake like this, and then we're going to run up and down this with a pizza wheel, and that's going to make our final cut. Okay, now we've got our last big chunk. All right, now before it goes in the oven, I just want to do a quick check, see if any of my lines were thicker than I wanted. And if so, I'm going to thin them out right now. So this one might have been a little thicker than I wanted. I'll just pull it so it's a little thinner. Just take any of these big, long, thick ones and just pull them a little bit. Make sure they're not too thick. But we are going to have another opportunity to cut them with the pizza wheel. So I'm not too worried about it. Okay, that's it. That's 5 pounds of sausage. Throw it right into the oven. Now the oven is the exact same temp that we use for our pizzas. 368 Celsius with 8 and 2 set on the oven. So that can just bake in a regular pizza oven for about 4.5 to 5 minutes. See you in a few. Let's take our sausage out of the oven now. And we turned it a couple of times just to make sure it's cooking evenly. Alrighty. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down the lines here and I'm going to cut these into tiny pieces. You want to do it slow and careful so that you don't end up with any big, huge pieces, which does have a tendency to happen. You can also sort of pull them down into a line, and by putting them together, it's a little easier to roll the knife down. Do that here. Pull these down. Pushing these into a single row. It's going to make it more convenient for us to cut. Now normally meat you'd have to wait a few minutes for it to cool down so it doesn't lose its moisture, but honestly it's not really a problem. These are so fatty on the inside, there's not much moisture, so cutting them right away doesn't seem to be much of a problem at all. That's about it. Go through one more time, take a look at any stragglers. Now I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to begin to get them into a third pan. Giving the pan a little scrape so I can pull up anything that's stuck there. Those little burn bits at the bottom are pretty tasty. If you missed a cut or two, you can always take your spatula and cut down. Once they're inside the pan, it's easier because they can't go anywhere. They can't run out. So that's it. That's our cut. Thanks, guys.